Give everybody here a moment to join. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This little guy is Apollo, and we are pleased to be with you today for the weekly collective. As always, this is going to help you navigate through the next 7 days. We're going to start off with channel messages, then get into a 7-day forecast. And of course, you helped pick a really cool topic today, which is releasing old ghosts and doing some healing as well. And I'm really pleased that we got a healing topic because that doesn't always come through. And I think it's really great this week because not only do we have, some post-eclipse energy here today, but also with a really liminal space coming through on Halloween. I think this is a great time to make some changes, some movement, and really make an impact. So welcome, everybody. We're going to get started off with channeled messages first. I had some really interesting dreams last night pertaining to the programming that we kind of go through. By the way, everything that we're going to be looking at in this first portion is going to be for everybody. The only thing specific to signs will be the elemental forecast. Okay, so in dreams this morning, I was shown what looked like a cassette player. So for those that were born in the past century, you know what I'm talking about. They're actually coming back into popularity now as a collector's items for some of the special releases. But anyway, cassette tapes basically represent something that can just be played again and again, or you can think of an old reel-to-reel. This was like thought patterns basically that we have in our heads. And there's actually a really great Alanis song called Tapes, where she's talking about all of these thoughts that just roll around in her head. And she's trying to release them because they don't always serve her. Very close to what I was getting with this particular vision here. So I got the idea here that it's just time to toss that out or to hit the re-record button and put some new thoughts into motion. We do this for our computers. We do it for our mobile devices. We upgrade things all the time. But sometimes with our thought process, we just keep the old process and it doesn't really do much anymore. So this is a chance to create a new program. And I think today's special topic is particularly well suited to help us see where the programs need to end or where we can hit the reboot. So there you go. The next thing that I saw was also very inspirational, and it was like an empty room with blank piece of paper or journal and an invitation to write a new chapter. I talk about this because one of my other passions is writing, but you can recast people in your life like in a different light. So someone who's always been an antagonist or annoying or difficult, you can see them as a teacher, a blessing, and you really don't need their teachings anymore. Instead of making someone the villain, you can just make them a human person with flaws that you no longer need to give that energy of angst to. And there's like, was it Natasha Bedingfield or whatever, like today is unwritten. So today is unwritten. You're watching this today. I believe in free will. The whole reason that we do this each and every week is to basically create a clean slate. And that's why I do frequent readings, because every time you hear something and you apply it to your life, you've just changed the trajectory. That's what's so powerful. That's what's so cool about being here. And that's why we continue to do this each and every week. So welcome, everybody. We're going to get into the 7-day forecast first, just to kind of give us a sense of where we're at and what's coming through. And then we'll move on from there. All right. So just a moment here as I get everything set up. A couple of things are missing here on my screen. So I'm going to grab I'm not going to put the graphic up. We're just going to go into the 7-day forecast here. So welcome, everybody. Good to see you. And really pleased to be able to help you navigate the next 7 days. All right, we've got some major cards of movement and change, which is perfect for a week where we have something like Halloween, so I would hope for that. We're going to start off with today, Sunday, and what we've got is death reversed. We're looking at releasing the past. I would hope to see this. If we take a look at this in the upright position here, we can see that this is an opportunity for growth, renewal, and death is just also a chance for new beginnings. So in this period, and this also kind of reminds me, if you look at it a little bit further back, kind of like a chrysalis where a butterfly is hanging upside down. So with respect to that, a chance for new starts, a chance for a new chapter, and sometimes it's hard to let go. And that's why I think this card was upside down, because I had this card come, not this, but the Four of Pentacles come through this week, and we talked a little bit about holding on to something because it feels safe. It's like a safety blanket, like a little kid that needs their blankie. There comes a point when they go to school or as they get older where you don't need the security of an inanimate object because you start to embody the security within. And so the same thing is here. Just because something or someone in your life exits, sometimes that's the big reveal, right? So when you break up with someone, when you lose a loved one, when you lose a job, the attachment and the safety and the projection that was that other thing is gone, and then all that's left is the truth of you. And what happens is you just learn to get stronger. And you also see things, you see yourself, you see people, you see new paths as what they truly are. And so there is a really beautiful blessing that comes with a major change. All of the things that death represents. Movement that is inevitable, and it's like inertia. You can't escape it. It's going to happen. So embrace it. See what's coming through and know that spirit wouldn't give you anything that you're not really ready for in this moment in time. Okay? Today, what can you do with death reversed? It's an end of stagnation. So if there's something that you've been meaning to get started, it's a great day to just turn that first page and put some plans in your book. It's a great day to change up a routine and do something you've never done. It's a good day to go take a walk. Anything that you could do that's going to shift your trajectory and open up some new possibilities, that's what today is about. It is not about the rewrite, and that's why I was seeing the cassette tape, okay? All right. So now let's take a look here at your energy coming through for the beginning of the week. We're moving on to Monday. On Monday, we have the Page of Pentacles. Now we have you planting something new. Notice how this page also carries with him a key. And, I was seeing that in my dreams, this sort of house filled with all these rooms. I think this reading today is very much part of it's a two-parter. So today we're looking at figuring out where you're stuck, figuring out what to heal and release. And then we have a liminal space. I'm going to do a live stream on Halloween. And so Halloween gives you a chance to walk through the door because it's very malleable. So whatever opportunity you want to create, come back on Halloween and we'll figure out what the next step is. Today, we're identifying things to release and things to begin or kind of like figure out what the opportunity's on. And then we'll just go the extra step on Halloween. Page of Pentacles, good day to talk about what you want. So on Monday, if you need to talk about resources, money, or opportunities, and you're waiting, it's a good day to follow up, or it's a good day to begin the conversation and say, hey, I'm interested in this, or can we talk about X, Y, or Z? So basically get things moving. It's also a really good day for anything productive that you want to do on your own. You really can't go wrong with Page of Pentacles, but the page typically is about communicating and connecting. That's why the key is on that card. So I think it would be good to bridge the gap on anything where you're not seeing progress. Today is just a day of rest and recalibration, but Monday is very much a day to start the communication and really stick to facts, figures, and tangible things. It's not really about emotions as much as it is goals and expectations. So take the emotional piece out. We're not dealing with the Page of Cups. We're dealing with the Page of Pentacles. Keep it short, simple, and based on things that people can see. So facts and figures, good thing to look at on Monday. Now we've got the Page of Cups. So if you're wanting to talk about things that make you passionate, that are, creative, inspiring, this is the day to do it. Page of Cups is where if there could even be a chance to talk to two different groups, especially for those of you that might be trying to get like investors or support. Like Monday would be more the financial piece, this would be more like marketing and getting people excited about it, and it's a little bit more fanfare. But Page of Cups. For everybody, it's a day to get more in touch with your emotions. It's a day to lean into things that inspire you. If you're feeling stuck, move on to something else where you feel that connection creatively. It's a great day for dating. So for those of you that are or connecting with your loved ones, so definitely prioritize your social calendar on Tuesday. And if you've been meaning to meet up with anybody, this is the day to do it. Have a good time and lead with the heart. And know that you, again, are being sort of set up here for success when it comes to connections with people. So you've got a couple of social days here, one where you can deal with facts and figures, one where you can just have a good time. Both of them are really good and expressive days. I'm feeling good about the beginning of the week. Now we have an interesting sort of fork in the road. And let me just look at the dates of the week here. So it's interesting. This will be the 1st, so the Day of the Dead. Okay. So it's right after Halloween, so we've taken our masks off, right? And isn't it interesting that she's holding these two different masks, like the drama and comedy masks that you see with the performing arts? And I talked about the blank page, very much what we're seeing here too. So now we're in the liminal space. Hopefully we will have had the live stream by then, and you can kind of decide what it is that you want. The Two of Swords is basically a personification of being at that fork in the road, and sometimes it can be too easily or I should say evenly weighted opportunities where you're like, I could do this, I don't know what to do. As I think that you've done the work earlier that week, and what we're seeing here, the 2 pages are the 2 faces. So some of you may be facing a challenge between something that looks really good on paper and something that feels really good in your heart. I think you're going to have to, I always kind of lean towards the heart, but we don't necessarily have to, it would be great if you could blend the two a little bit here. So see if you can't meet in the middle. So it's not just about, money versus happiness or expectations versus your whatever kind of really satisfies you. Try to find your own truth. And maybe this is moving away from the expectations. The pages could be other people in your life as well. Follow your heart. You always have a chance to redirect if you need to. What you can do with Two of Swords energy is ask questions. Say, are my assumptions correct on this? Or I need more information here. Or what do you think about this? So be curious, be communicative, lift up the stones and see what's underneath it. Don't be afraid to be, curious and investigate. I think those are the best things that you can do on Wednesday. You may not need to make a decision, but ask the tough questions, including to yourself what it is that you want, what it is you're trying to do. Okay? Now let's take a look at the energy surrounding Thursday. We have the Tower in reverse. If you're going to get the Tower, the reversal of it is the most manageable because it usually means that you see it coming. You know that, you're overdue to have a conversation with someone, or that if you don't fix something, it's going to break. So preventative approach towards the Tower is advised. So in the case of your house, your car, or any sort of item in your life that requires maintenance, don't wait until Thursday. Get it done earlier in the week. If you're presented with an option to fix something in advance of it, someone says, yeah, we can do this and this, but you really need to take care of this. Take care of the other thing too. You're being given a glimpse into something that it just has to be done eventually. Also with the Tower, I always use the metaphor of being able to surf. So when we see a big wave, you can just stand there and let the wave crash onto you. You can try to fight a wave, which doesn't make sense either. Or you can try to ride the velocity of it and kind of get underneath it like a surfer does and land on your feet, hopefully. It's always best to try to embrace that and try to surf the energy of change and use it to your benefit, because it can be something that's going to allow you to step through. I mean, I think today is the beginning of this. This is a chance to understand that something needs to change. And the change comes through around the latter part of the week. And so I think embracing that and allowing yourself to kind of move through that, that's really the advice here. Inevitable change, but a lot of free will and a lot of movement happening here. So I think this is the day to kind of get clear on it, so that by the time Thursday comes, you're like, yeah, I know, we're good, and I'm going to move in this direction. Some things to avoid. If you're if you're thinking of like signing a contract or having I would say if you're going to have a meeting, it's going to be an impactful one. Things could also be shifted around. So be willing and ready to react to a change in schedule. So pad your travel time. Don't be surprised if someone reschedules, and don't be surprised if there's a curveball that's thrown your way. Try to just take a deep breath and think, I've got this. I was expecting something to move around a little bit. And as long as you're flexible, you should be okay. I wouldn't make a major important announcement, decision, or plan an event that day unless it's already happened. But otherwise, just be flexible and plan for contingencies. Okay. Friday looks a lot easier. 9 of Wands. You're going to get it done. This is a card of resilience. We can see someone here with a bandage on their head, but they're basically able, ready, willing to kind of make it happen. You do want to be kind to yourself. This card can represent fatigue. It can represent this feeling of like, am I ever going to get to the finish line? Invariably, yes, you are, but look at that person. They're a little worse for the wear. So I think it would be good to not push yourself too hard. If you need to take some time for you, whether that means like, extra time for sleep, for meditation, massage, whatever, do that, because we all have limits, especially when it comes to just our energy and our physical body. So don't push yourself too hard. That's one thing that I'm seeing here. But this is kind of like that old commercial with the Energizer Bunny where it just keeps going and going. So you'll be able to finish whatever it is that you set out to do. But remember to recharge your battery on that day as well. All right, let's take a look at next weekend. We have a card here showing movement. I don't think it's surprise. I just think the surprise is, wow, it's actually finally happening. So you were expecting it, but maybe you're going to be asked to finally just like do something on the spot. So this is like if you've been thinking, well, or maybe you've even put an offer in for something or whatever, and then someone calls you back and says, are you ready to sign? And you were, but you weren't. So it's kind of like a realization. So you've set everything in motion. Now is the time to take the action. And then once things start to happen, they start to happen quickly. So this is kind of the universe coming in with a reality check saying, if you're ready to move, it'll happen fast. If there's something you've been avoiding, it's coming back around and you need to deal with it. There could also be unexpected travel or a delay in travel or a chance to move in a different direction. The thing with this card in reverse is it's usually unexpected and kind of quick, or if it's expected, the timing is faster than you were sort of internally ready for. So take a deep breath, put your hands on the wheel and say, again, I've got this. The movement is happening. We've seen it in 3 different forms. This is change, this is change, this is change. You get 3 chances to do it. It gets increasingly faster and a little bit more expected with each one. So you just pick your point when you're ready to move. Today is the easiest. It's more of the internal. So if you can get your internal decision-making process done today, then you're not freaked out by the fact that there's something that has to happen. And then you've already got one foot out the door in that direction as we look at next Saturday. Moving on to Sunday, we have you feeling good about things, sitting pretty. The Empress card is controlled. She's good at basically connecting with things and saying, all right, I've got this now. So I feel like finally you're in that creative space too, because she is creative. So next weekend's looking pretty good. We see, things moving in the right direction, and then you basically at the wheel, as I was just saying, being able to create, develop, decide. And this is one of the best cards of the week. So a week from today, you're in a really good space. Let's quickly look at some highlights and lowlights for the week ahead, and then we'll move into the elemental portion of today's forecast. So I think that the highlights are actually the beginning of the week. Tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, really, really good energy. There really aren't lowlights, but there are challenging days. So the challenge today is to move beyond stagnation. The challenge on Thursday is to make peace with change. The challenge on Saturday is to basically take action. So I think it's manageable for the most part because you're tuning in ahead of time. So Yay for that. All right, let's move on to the elemental portion for today. And this gives us a chance to tune in just a little bit more to fire, earth, air, and water signs. It's the only part of this reading that is going to be sign specific. Otherwise, everything you see here is for everybody that's present. All right, let me grab a different deck for this. See which one calls to. Okay, this one. All right, so let's begin with fire signs first. We have Nine of Swords energy coming through for you. So the Nine of Swords is never as challenging as it looks or feels. It's typically just fear or anxiety, or sometimes even just thinking about what you need to plan for. So I talked about contingency, and that's just planning for, a worst case scenario or a challenge. The truth of the matter with Nine of Swords is typically it's just a chance for stress management, for saying, all right, I planned for that, but let's also plan for the best case scenario too. So don't forget to look at two sides of the coin. Nine of Swords is just one side of the coin. So let's also flip it from tails to heads and see what might work. And let's take care of ourselves, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So proper sleep, saying no to too many things that are kind of creating stress or anxiety, and then realizing that, occasionally a couple of butterflies are good. So if you're ready to have a public speech and you get a little nervous, you can use that energy, you can transmute it in a positive way. It means that you care. If you're invested in something, it's okay and it's pretty normal to want to do well and to worry and just think, I want to make sure I'm doing my best. I feel like you're halfway there. It's kind of appropriate that we see some ghosts and ghouls on this card since we're looking at Halloween. So this week, be kind and sensitive with yourself, especially on the 31st. So that is on Tuesday, making sure that you're not kind of like getting in your headspace too much. And I think you're going to be all right. It's just a week for self-care. And if you have the self-care in place, everything else will be okay. Sleep is paramount when the Nine of Swords comes through, as is mental health. So making sure that you're doing things. It's not just about talking to a therapist. It's also about like a release, having fun, going to a party, having social engagements, not just doing work or school or other things that are kind of creating that stress. Okay? You've got this, fire signs, but self-care is key. All right, let's move on from our fire signs to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have breaking the mold, basically. The Hierophant in reverse can be sometimes feeling like I don't need people or want people this week to tell me what to do. I want to kind of set the tone myself. There may also be this internal vibe that you're kind of like not wanting to be as organized or as regimented, because it's typically a card of systems, organizations, very sort of rigid and traditional approach. So there's something either rebellious or non-traditional or atypical about the approach, and that's okay. It's a very powerful card. It's called the High Priest in some decks, and you're bringing in the energy of the High Priestess and the Magician that came before, and the Emperor and the Empress that came before. And so you've been through all of these different phases, and many of you are just thinking, I need to do my own thing, and I think you're okay if you're in that energy. There could also be a really strong figure in your life, parent, teacher, or mentor that is used to being a gatekeeper, and we see this sort of wizard-like person here. And you may be looking at that thinking to yourself, like, I want to be the one that's deciding. So this is a very normal card to be reversed when you're at a pivotal life change, like graduation, marriage, moving into your first house, or just doing something, or you just want to break free from the nest. So I'm just kind of validating that and saying, make sure that you take a deep breath, you believe in yourself, and it's okay to move in a new direction if you want to, okay? And you're stepping into the role of being the gatekeeper. That doesn't mean that you still don't sometimes need support or, a little bit of advice. So ask if you need it, and maybe find a different person. You might be veering towards a different path of mentorship, like finding someone else that's a better match for you. Okay. Sometimes we outgrow certain teachers in our life as well, and that's completely normal. Like attracts like, and when you move to a different frequency, you'll find a different frequency. All right, let's move from my earth signs to air. This is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. 5 of Swords. There could be some interesting interactions this week with communication. So all cards in tarot, this is hot take here, they're all blessings because they're telling us what's going on. So we shouldn't fear any card. We should figure out what to do with them. 5 of Swords, you might be wasting your breath with a certain interaction. There could be a person in your life that doesn't want to hear what you have to say. There could be a person that doesn't want to work on themselves and is unable to be accountable. There could be someone who enjoys kind of like poking the bear and getting a reaction. So this week, you're going to think to yourself, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I'm going to focus on people, places, and things that are more appreciative, more reciprocal for my time and my energy. So you're reallocating your resources based on how you feel after you have an interaction. It's really more, I think this is more focused on people. So if you leave an interaction feeling brighter, feeling lighter, feeling engaged, perfect. If you leave an interaction and you're like, I have a headache or that. I had an experience once with a boss, and then there was like a higher boss, and they came in and they kind of like, dropped this announcement and gave some really negative criticism. And both of us looked at each other. We were both sensitive, but the other person didn't talk about it as much. But I said, did you just feel like you were deflated? Like all the air left the room? And they said, yeah, this happens all the time with that individual. And I thought to myself, another reason why I don't want to be here. But there are some people that do that. They just suck the air out of the room. So if you're around anybody or anything like that, the blessing is now you know that that's not where you want to be long term. You don't have to make any major decisions this week, but you just were blessed with an insight, an epiphany, if you will, that there's a better path for you, okay? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Focus on things that matter. It's also a card of accountability, much like the 7 of Swords. Where the 5 exists, so does the 7. Ostensibly, these two that's the 7 at the other end here. So it's really just about looking for things where you can trust the people that you're working with, where you feel like it's a worthwhile venture. And if there's anything that isn't, it's a realignment this week, okay? And the last thing here, and this is something specific to the way I interpret it, it's about the two little like the angel and the devil. It's not giving in to the thing that says you can't do this, because sometimes it's the voice in our head, the 5 of Swords. And so when someone comes in and you can't win because you're being too hard on yourself, let's let that go. And I think a lot of air signs have that because you have the capacity to see from everyone's perspective, and we let the one critical voice sit on our shoulder. Don't let that happen, okay? And that's my last piece of advice for air signs. But you've got this. This is just about taking a step back. And I think the tapes thing that I was talking about, the cassette tape, was very much for you as well. Moving now on to water signs, Page of Wands in reverse. Just keeping an open mind is going to be the first and most important thing you can do this week. There may be a chance to reconsider or rethink something based on new information. I love that we have a really powerful Page of Wands. After all, wands are very much connected to magic, right? You think of wizards and witches, and it's a great energy for this week. Don't second guess your power, your potential, or your insight. I think that's something that can happen sometimes. We overthink what's going on, and we kind of go down this rabbit hole of, anxiety or whatever, and it's not worth it. So focus on the potential. You're always allowed to change your mind. Keep an open mind when new things come your way. And I think that openness is going to help you get back in touch. There's a lot of similarity between this and like the Hierophant reverse, which is outside of the box thinking and the willingness and the ability to kind of like embrace a different path. Overall, it's pretty manageable this week, but given that we have one of the most, I would say one of the biggest portals this week with Halloween coming through, or Day of the Dead or Samhain. We'll talk about all of those on the 31st. But this is a really important week, and that's why we have big cards even in the 7-day forecast before we even got into, the special topics. So I'm excited that all of this is coming through. By the way, yeah, this card earlier that's representing today, I would expect this on Halloween week to come through. This is a chance for us to look at ghosts from the past. So I think that's a nice segue into looking at the special topics. So you chose releasing old ghosts and healing the past. I had a feeling this would come through. I wanted something spirit or ghost based this week anyway. So I'm glad you guys were in the same energy as I was. I'm going to reset all the cards here, and we're going to take a look at today's special topic. And again, the special topic is going to give us a chance to open up new opportunities in this week ahead. All right, I'm going to go with a kind of Halloween looking deck here. The Tarot de St. Croix. It has the Halloween colors on it, so let's go for this. All right, special topic. It's for everybody that's present, and we're going to take a look at kind of like what we saw, where you might be stuck, and if there's anything that's anchoring you. I think that Halloween, I'm doing another live stream this week, 2 in a week. That'll give us the chance to really step through the door, but we need to let go of some stuff first. So let's see where the blocks are. Let's see where the ghosts are. And let's let them go. Let's let them go into the light. All of the main tarot decks, not the oracle, but the main decks are listed on my website. Dakota can put a link to those. All right, let's get started. We're going to begin with catalyst energy first. This is how to spark some action. We have a wood horse here coming through. Live and love joyfully. Easier said than done sometimes. I think we were trained in the past that we have to sometimes suffer for, to learn, to kind of get stronger, etc. There are different teachers in life. Joy is a teacher. Pain is a teacher, struggle, but love is one of the best teachers, and it's one of the energies that it's kind of the language of the universe here. So I'd love for you this week to lean into love and joy. And this horse shows what can happen when you do that. Things just start to move in the right direction. When we think of some of the pivotal cards, I've talked about this before, horses are a big component of them. Success, the 6 of Wands, we see someone riding in on a horse. Death rides in on a horse. All of the knights have horses too. It's all about movement. So the question is here this week, what is it that you can do that moves you closer to the frequency of love and joy? What is moving you away from it? We'll see it as we look at the spread of cards here, but this is a chance to move in a different direction. And once you do that, you remember I said like the 6 of Swords, which I think was next Saturday, would happen really fast, or even the Tower on Thursday. These are some chances to make some really rapid changes that are going to then affect trajectory overall. Okay, let's look at the cards, folks, and see where we're at. Okay, control. I mean, could we get two better cards to represent the different ends of the coin? I don't think so. Like, so we have the devil who's trying to pull the strings, but then we have you, which is saying, thanks, no thanks, I got this. And that's really one of the big things here, is to understand you call the shots. The devil wants you to think that he calls the shots, but you call the shots. So that's the first and most pivotal lesson coming through here. And we also see, the plans here, the opportunity to create something new. I did some research on this one. I originally I was like, it was Caesar, but it's not. It's Mark Antony, I think, on this one. So anyway, it doesn't matter. But it is a chance to speak up, because we can see him delivering the speech, friends, Romans, countrymen. So some of you may be thrown in this moment of basically having to speak your truth. And we actually got that in health, the mouse, not known for having a big voice, little peeps, right? So this is a chance to open up the throat chakra. This is the first potential blocker opportunity. Speak your truth, elevate the conversation and communication, and know that you may have to speak up against that. So you see the devil energy and you're saying, this isn't going to work. This is what is. You're going to push back on it, and you have the ability to overcome whatever that is. And we can see these two people kind of being subjugated by this. And so the main opportunity right now is to say there's a different way. There's a different path than what's here. While we're talking, I'm just going to bring up Lovers and Devils cards so that you can kind of see the difference between it. Because one of your messages today was to lead with love. So here we go. I think this is an even better kind of illustration here. If you don't look at all of the major arcana a lot, you may not see this, but it's essentially the same template. Very different manifestations in both cards. We have an angel, and then we have a fallen angel, and then we have the lovers. We have free will, nothing in between them, and then we have the chains in this one. So it's the same. It's like different versions, alternate realities. So you get a chance to basically say, I don't want that reality. I want a different one, and you're going in a different path. And there's more elevation, there's less sort of like being forced to do something, okay? That's the big opportunity this week so far, is to break free of something that has too many conditions, too many chains, too many expectations. It just doesn't feel right. Feels like you might have outgrown it. And you then get to move more towards that energy of love here. This can be a contract that doesn't serve you. This can be a person that pulls you in the wrong direction. It can be someone who tempts or creates some trouble or some issues. And the big thing here is that you can stand on your own. You can go in a different direction. Okay. Let's look at the deep past. This is the karma that's coming through in this moment. So it feels like some decisions have already been made. For some of you, you've already made a decision, but it's just about stepping into the light and saying, all right, let's do this. Judgment typically has souls rising from the dead. Gabriel blowing his horn. We don't really have the horn kind of in this particular one, but that is about answering the call or answering that sort of inner knowing. Judgment can mean that someone else has made up their mind and they're doing something and you don't have a say on it. And it's really about accepting their path, their truth, and focusing on yourself. It can mean that you know you need to do something, but you haven't taken action yet. So if you can't control something, let it go. If you have made your mind up, but you haven't taken action, take the first step. And it's pretty much one of those two things. The other thing here is this is a card that can represent a second chance if you're ready to let it happen. So the new chapter, the new beginning is also about saying, I don't need or want to really do that anymore. That doesn't mean that I'm a failure. That doesn't mean that things are done. It just means that that door can close. So it's closing a door finally on something that needs to be closed, and then thinking, now what? What next? And it's a chance to explore. The minute you do that, an ace comes through, Ace of Pentacles. Aces require nurturing, they require time, they require energy, but they're worth it. I've grown mammoth sunflowers before. They're so fun because there's so many things that they provide. For us, it's just this beautiful tall flower that we can look at. You can actually eat the seeds, but I usually leave them so that the birds can then feed them, like when they finally kind of droop down and just become kind of a dead husk. Then all of a sudden they're this food source for the birds. So they're beautiful, and then they become this beautiful food source, and then the birds take them, and then mammoths are growing everywhere. But to get that mammoth, you have to be patient. You have to take time. You have to water it. You have to take care of it, protect it from the snails and all this other stuff. So any dream worth dreaming or doing is going to take a little bit of time and investment. It's not going to just land in your lap. So the universe is kind of coming through. All of the traditional ace cards in Rider-Waite-Smith have a hand presenting whatever it is, the chalice, the sword, the pentacle, etc. And the question from the universe is, do you want this? Are you ready? And you can almost imagine that it's going to be a handshake. You're going to say yes, and then the two of you are going to work together. But it's cooperation, it's collaboration, it's also putting that investment in. So great things are possible, but they do require work, and that's basically the message here. There could be a new job on the horizon for some of you. This can also be an engagement. The thing is that we do want to look at, it is connected to, this is your voice and your power. This is your happiness, and the devil's on top of this. So it's basically making sure that you're not doing something that sacrifices your voice or your happiness. Anything worth doing should not have that condition or that element in it. Okay? By the way, thank you to the folks that are gifting memberships. We will talk at the very end, and I'll say thanks to everybody. All right, let's take a look now at what the crowning cards are. So we have the Hermit and we have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles reversed is on top. And the King of Pentacles in reverse is basically saying it's okay in this moment in time for you to focus on what serves you most in the realms of, like, you might need to go back to school. You might need to ask for something in order to feel supported. You can prioritize yourself, especially if you are in a position where others rely on you. So when it comes to health and happiness, make sure you're doing things that lift you up too. You can't, again, deplete the battery. If there's someone in your life that takes and takes and takes, this card comes through to remind you to put on the brakes and say when enough is enough. Use it, because the fact that we've got this card, which is self-serving, and this card in reverse, which is self-serving, this is a card that tends to be a little bit more quiet. So one of the opportunities here is to speak up and to say, no, I can't do that, or I can't give any more, or I actually need some support on this, and I've been helping you. Can I rely on you for this? It's evening the scales a bit. It's having good boundaries, and it's showing that you have a voice and some power and some limits. And it's good to have all of these things, because that's going to help you sustain over time. The Hermit is also reminding you that it might be time to come out and sort of show yourself a little bit more when it comes to what you have to offer, particularly with work, because we have the King of Pentacles here. So sometimes some of the strongest individuals end up being in the background. This is a chance to shine if you're ready, especially with this card here, Judgment. We see this little kid in the spotlight. So you have a chance to kind of really show your true colors. This could open up new doors for you. And so what we're seeing right now, we'll look at it in a moment and look at all the ghosts, so to speak, on this, but it feels like the voice and the visibility is something that wants to change right now, like being more seen, being more heard with these two cards. Let's continue the journey around the Celtic Cross and see what's going on here. Happiness is important. There comes a point where you realize that, I like to never put the exact limit. I don't like the phrase life is short. Life is finite, however, and one of the most valuable resources you can give is your time. So is your time panning out the way you thought it would in any given investment in relationships, because this can be relationships in partnerships, in work, etc. If it isn't, it's time to kind of reevaluate. It's also really important for you to feel happy. And we're not talking about just sort of like the Pollyanna happiness. I'm talking about just feeling the sense of joy, passion, love. There should be some of that in your life. So maybe in this next chapter or this next page, you're going to prioritize that a little bit more than you have in the past. It's not just about making parents happy or making a boss or friends happy. When we exit this life, we have our own soul review. We're going to be asked if we were satisfied with what we did, and also satisfied with, like, are you making a difference? So satisfaction, joy, and happiness, really important to look at this week and to try to create just a better balance there. How are you showing up? Pretty good. King of Wands. It's interesting that, this is a power card, and I'm happy to see it reversed because it shows me that if you need to stand up for yourself, you can do it. The only thing with a King or Queen of Wands in reverse, and they are probably two of my favorite court cards, the reversal can be a little short-sighted, and this is typically a card of innovation. Short-sighted in that there is a thought that it has to happen in a particular way, shape, time, or form. The universe is a lot more fluid, and sometimes things can happen faster, and sometimes they need to take a little more time. So this is an invitation to be more flexible, even more imaginative, and more open with the way that something wants to show up. That's really the only negative that I'm getting from this. Otherwise, a King of Wands can think his way through any challenge in front of him. So this is really saying that things may be challenging, things may seem like they're a dead end, but it's really just the universe challenging you to look up or look through or look under, look around. There's a better way than what you might have been doing. And that's also why that came through. All right, now one of the first and most challenging cards that we got here. Oh, look, this is interesting. We got the Five of Swords again. But the Ten of Swords is in the environment. It is reversed, and there's a desire, if we look at this card upright, to rise above. This week, there may be this feeling of things being a little bit heavier than you were expecting, but remember that Ten of Swords is a full stop. It's the end of a cycle, typically the end of a cycle of pain or just whatever it might be in your life that just isn't what you want. This is where you say, I'm done now. And I'm clear now that I don't want this, but I do want that. So the blessing of this card is clarity. It's a teacher, not always the most fun teacher, but it's a very clear one. You never look at this and wonder, oh, should I keep doing it? No, you know what you don't want and what you don't need anymore. What the Ten of Swords can also, it's not just about physical pain. It can represent like chronic fatigue or pain, in which case you want to take care of yourself. In a more subtle and a more sort of like higher lens, this can be burnout. So if you've been pushed too much by the way, this can be an unreasonable boss, power hungry, and it's my way or the highway. So it can be a person in your life that has to always be right. We've got the Five of Swords again. So if that's the case, you're going to elevate the conversation, rise above and say, thanks, but no thanks. Good luck with that. I'm going to go in a different direction. You're not going to get into an argument because we saw the Five of Swords and it showed up here. Nice synchronicity. It's not worth the time and energy when you're dealing with this person because it's self-serving. So the devil can be any one of these power figures in your life, but you don't need that because you're the Queen of Wands. You can rise above here. So it may just be separating yourself from a lot of other people that feel like they have a say or that they know best, and you're going to be okay. Don't get in an argument this week. It's not worth it. Literally, these are the two cards of not even diminishing returns. You're not going to win with the Ten of Swords or the Five of Swords. Nobody wins in those cards. So instead of trying to win, you just walk in a different direction. It's okay to avoid an argument or to walk in a different path sometimes. Because now there's a difference between a negotiation or a healthy argument in a relationship and then just arguing for the sake of arguing. So if there's no constructive elements to it, it's not like a persuasive argument. It's just two people butting heads. That's not worth it this week, okay? So I want to be clear. Sometimes we have to state our case, but this isn't that. The Ten of Swords and Five of Swords together are not that. Here we can see a nice personification and illustration of what the Five of Swords can look like. It was reversed, so you can see through it. But there's that person wagging their hand. They're not even listening. It's like they want you to listen to them. They're not talking to you, they're talking at you. And then when you talk to them, they're thinking of the next thing. It's not a conversation. So avoid this, please. Again, the Five of Swords can also be the voices that we have in our heads that tend to sometimes not let us move past things. So this is the beginning of healing, Ten of Swords reversed. So let yourself heal, let yourself move on, let other things go. Know that you can't please everybody, you know? Okay. Luckily, we end on one of the best possible cards. You know I like this particular queen because she can make anything work. So it's making the best of each and every situation. She's also marching to the beat of her own drum. I love that there's solar energy coming through here. Solar plexus is something that you can work on to help you find your voice and be heard. We see a fast-moving cat in the background, so there's going to be the ability to make up for any lost time. And it's really just stepping into your boss energy, right? And so I feel like the big opportunity so far is just kind of like stepping out of old codependent relationships and more into your own power. Let me just move Apollo's bed, and we're going to talk a little bit about tying this to the special topic, and then we'll expand this. Okay. Sorry, he moves his bed sometimes in the background. All right, so the special topic today was releasing old ghosts. Let's specifically look at some of the old ghosts and then healing the past. I want to look at that before we move on and really tie it to the special topic. So the old ghosts, well, first of all, for some of you, judgment reverse can also be judgment pushed on you. And these are very, very parental energies. So there could have been something from the parents that was pushed on you, but you know yourself best. So that's one thing that I'm picking up on there as an old ghost, releasing the specter of trying to please parents or authority figures or teachers. We got the Five of Swords, but it might have well have been the Five of Pentacles. Other ghosts here are sort of subjugating or pushing down your happiness for success or for the approval of the aforementioned person. We're going to let that go too. What's coming through as a healing element this month is your wisdom. The Hermit is upright. There's a Tori Amos song, Silent All These Years. You're no longer silent. You're able to kind of like speak your truth. The wisdom is there. Whether it was born of, you educating yourself or pain or struggle or whatever, it's coming through now. There's more than money to happiness. And it's just time. Like that's really, if I could sum it up, it's just time to move in a different direction. You know it, you feel it, you can do it. Okay? The main ghost, if you will, it feels like it's from childhood, from the past, from a parent, from an authority figure. But the power and the potential is here. It's just a question of when and how much more you want to kind of deal with certain people or certain things in your life. But a new chapter is opening, and we see this sort of like powerful figure here, and it's you. So I just want to leave you with that. Let's expand this forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to go a little bit deeper into each one of these categories, starting with health. I already hinted at this. I'm looking at energy, as you can tell, like it's the mouse here. So if there's anything going on specifically with your body, work with a professional. But this has to do with the throat chakra and its accountability. Mice are tricky. So you could put a mouse on the Seven of Swords and it would be accurate because it sneaks around. Sneaks around, it steals some food, goes back into the walls, nobody sees it. The mouse is the Seven of Swords. It also has a really small voice. I remember walking Apollo once in my old neighborhood and I heard this little, I thought, like, is it a computer? There's a little peeping sound, a little beep. Very small, and I'm like, no, that's a little field mouse. Okay, let's move on, Apollo. So you don't hear them until you do, but when you do, you know it's time to move on. So I think here's what I'm looking at here. If there's Seven of Swords energy in your life, whether it's you not being truthful with yourself, not being accountable, it's just a wake-up call for that. If it's someone else that you really aren't feeling a connection to anymore, good, move in a different direction. Otherwise, speak up if you don't like something. Using your voice, working on that throat chakra is going to be really, really important. Okay, let's look at this just from a health perspective. Of course, I'll go to the Ten of Swords first. This can be, it's in the environment, so it actually can just be a high stress environment, a toxic environment for some of you. And we can see the toxicity in the leadership. So could be a group of friends, could be a job. Whoever it is, the head person is not the best. And so it's about finding better leadership, finding a better group, detaching from that. Something in the environment needs to change. If you're dealing with chronic pain or fatigue, take care of yourself, prioritize the healing. Don't push yourself anymore. Like when this comes through, we don't want to go further or it's the tower. So just take a break, take a couple days. I've had issues in the past where if you break a bone, sprain an ankle, etc., it's better just to pull back. Don't overdo it. Exercise can wait. Take care of yourself. I think also moving away from people that have opinions or thoughts that are just not nurturing or supportive of you. Closed-mindedness, ultimately. You need to be in more open-mindedness energy right now. So we'll kind of like just leave it at that. And heightened sensitivity this week. So be kind to yourself. Be careful, be cognizant of that. And I feel like we've talked the Five of Swords to death, so you know what you're dealing with there. Most of it's manageable. It's just getting real with yourself, speaking up if you need to, and detaching from this environment or this person. And if you do that, I feel like you're going to be okay. And again, things will actually start to heal and feel better a lot faster than you had anticipated. Let's move on to wealth. Resources, life purpose, and career. Your oracle card in wealth. Fun week this week with the Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, and Devil. I'll welcome it in whenever it comes in because it's here to help us. So deception and envy. Okay. So it is what it is, right? There may be someone around you that has a hard time celebrating your success. It's not nice when that happens, but at least you know that it's there. One thing that I had a great teacher once when I was dealing with someone who had both of these energies. This teacher said, try to take it to a place of love. Even that person somehow at their core is resonating, like they started out within the energy of love and then something happened. And I was like, you know what? That actually helped me because envy is just twisted love. It's someone who loves something that you have in your personality and your energy, but they have a hard time cultivating it in their life. So envy and jealousy happen when someone doesn't do the work internally. And then they try to take you down a notch to make them, that's all it is. So they actually are in an energy of love, but they don't know how to work with it. So this is where you rise above and you're like, I just don't need to deal with it. I'm not going to pay it any mind. That person needs to work on themselves. Deception, you're going to be able to see through it. You're tuning into today. You have a good sense of what's right and wrong. You're not going to allow someone to tempt you or pull you into that energy either. You're going to step back a little bit because true unconditional love doesn't require this my way or the highway sort of approach. So when somebody puts that out there that you have to do something or they're not going to let you be a part of a clique or a group or the two of you or whatever, it's like, thank you, no thank you. So this is just rising above anything like that. And it's in wealth. So I think the thing here is that we want to move away from groups and people that are self-serving. And that was the big thing here in the center, if we look at this. So the King of Pentacles serves himself when reversed. The Emperor, when connected to the Devil, is also serving themselves. Judgment reverse means you don't want that. You can see through that. It isn't right. There's an internal compass that's leading you in another direction. This can also just be a popular clique. Someone talking at a table about someone else, and you're like, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's a good conversation. So it could just be that. Like a Mean Girls conversation or whatever. So we're just going to disconnect from that. Okay. So whether it's legitimately someone doing something that is wrong, unnecessarily restrictive, selfish, self-serving, envious, it's not something where at the end of the day, they're going to lose allies down the line. This isn't a fight that you have to fight unless you want to fight it. You can move in a different direction and focus on something else. But you can definitely call it out in the moment and say, no, this is wrong. I don't align with this. That's all I have to say on that one. You don't want to connect with that for sure. And if someone is trying to make you give away your rights, for instance, like intellectual property rights and things like that, definitely put on the brakes, get some advice and figure out how to deal with that. Otherwise, it's just saying goodbye to someone when they're constantly kind of in that energy. All right, enough with deception. Let's look at where the opportunity is, because I'm not a fear-based reader. I like to look at how to turn the tables here a bit. Believing in yourself. And maybe you tuned in today just to hear the simple thing. You are worthy of love, joy, and happiness. There may have not always been that reinforcement, but now is a chance to rise up and prove, whenever you're around this energy, prove them wrong, prove yourself right. Just live a happy, healthy, abundant life. That's the best way to deal with this. Just show them, I've got this. I think the other thing here is that, again, you don't have to sacrifice happiness for success or for fulfillment, or for people to be, proud of you. If that's the case, again, your happiness is more important. Some of you are getting primed to just step out on your own. So very entrepreneurial vibe here. You've been shown what not to do. You've done some work that people don't even know. Like there's some skills, some wisdom, some capabilities that haven't had a chance to shine. Some of you may have to step out onto your own platform, your own path in order to have that happen. That was a big reason of why I left what I was doing. I was never going to be able to get past a certain level. There was a glass ceiling. So I was like, okay, why don't we just try some new things? And don't second guess your innovative and inspirational and imaginative thoughts. Do something with them. That's it. Okay, let's move on now to love and relationships. So we have something very much connected to Two of Wands and High Priestess, if I had to pick visionary cards, or the Queen of Wands, since we got her too. So in relationships, you may see potential even before others do. And this oftentimes will kind of like connect you to situations where you might be in an advisor or a healer or a nurturing or supportive role. So it's cool to be that, but you're also the visionary. You're not just there to help other people through their paths. So do some of this for your own life. Decide what it is that you want for yourself. Look at all those doors that are open, and it's just a matter of which one you want to step through. Also, something really interesting here, and I learned it after years of managing. I remember having one-on-ones with people that were just bored and didn't want to be there. And then I remember when I started my business and I opened up a calendar. I don't do private readings anymore, but I was surprised by the fact that people then wanted to book time with me. I went from people that I had a hard time pulling them into their monthly meeting to people that were like, can I meet with you? And this is a matter of not forcing the connection. And that was something I had to do because it's an artificial thing when you're a boss at a company. People have to answer to you, or a manager or whatever, to a place where you're like, I'm a resource if you want to connect with me. My time's valuable, your time's valuable, the door is open. And it's a much more powerful place to be. So in relationships, not having to force someone to listen to you, not having to make something happen, but like this is where good leaders, good parents, good advisors will just be like, this is something that might be worth exploring. When you're ready, come to me. Try whatever you want to try, but I'm here when you're really ready to get to business. Kind of use that approach, because what I see here is overly bossy, overly controlling, overly judgmental. So if you've been in that energy before, you can just do the opposite, which is open-minded, strong, assertive, but not pushy to the point that it pushes people away. So when starting your own business, your own path, your next relationship, your next job, you're going to enter into it with confidence. But confident people don't have to prove themselves all the time, right? So let's work on the self-worth and the self-confidence, and then it will attract opportunities, people, places, and things that are in the same resonance. Okay, let's focus on relationships. Those in love, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're in love, we got some stuff to talk about this week rather. So something from the devil can be something that needs to see the light of day. A secret, a fear, an anxiety. The devil likes to push that down a little bit and use that as something that keeps you still, like an anchor. So the best thing to do in a loving relationship is to talk about hopes, fears, anxieties with the person that you love. If they support you, you've got your sort of soul. I don't really use soulmate that much, but you've got your partner, your divine partner. If they don't, then that it's better to know that sooner than later, right? What's breaking down right now in some relationships, not all, but some, is trying to have a winner or loser. So you're in it together. There's no winner or loser. That's an old archetype. So remember, we just need to elevate this to this. It's the same couple and they can get back to the garden. It's just about free will, lifting each other up, not pointing the finger. Literally, this person pointing the finger. I think that's the main piece of advice I could give here. You're either in it together or you're not. Now, this can also be someone that is trying to derail you. So if you realize you can't control the devil, you can't win a contract with that person anyway, you can't control it. So when this card comes through, it can also just be an indication that you know enough is enough. And that's a blessing in and of itself too. And for some of you, it's something that you've seen for a while. But for those that are in a healthy relationship, this can just be something out of your control. So you have to lean on one another in order to get through something that could be challenging. And we do get partnership here. And it is just about not having to have one person be right or wrong. As long as you can kind of come to that realization, I think anything's possible. But better communication, no pointing of fingers. That's the key advice for this week. Okay, if you're looking for love, Capricorn could be coming into your life for sure. This week isn't the most ideal for like significant dating. I think what wants to happen this week for those that are looking for love, first focus on mind, body, spirit healing. Focus on disconnecting with any existing sort of relationships where codependencies exist. And really focus on making sure that you've done everything that you need to do when it comes to obligations, promises, contracts, etc. Once you've sorted things, I would say towards the end of the week, then we've got the Queen of Wands energy coming through. You might have a nice fire sign that is ready and willing to enter into your life, and I think you're ready for it. But there's some stuff that needs to get done first. So I think the first part of the week is healing, time and energy management and all that jazz, and then towards the end of the week, yes. And we have the potential for something more significant, but let's clean up the old energy first. Okay, so definitely post-Halloween. I think things are looking better. I mean, the Empress energy was a week from today, so even like 7 days from today is a better day for that. But or Tuesday, because I think we had the Knight of Cups or whatever. But Tuesday or Sunday, those are the days that you could lean into that. Those that are single and happy, I feel like it's a really optimal time to be that, and it is about healing. Anything in your life right now that creates this sense of improved health, improved happiness, improved joy. And for some of you, it could be deciding to go back to school to learn something, because these are very great cards for that kind of energy. And I think that's it. Being gentle with yourself and healing yourself. That's the main thing if you're not looking for love. There's still an opportunity knocking on the door here. I would say when it comes to one last note for those that are looking for love, make sure that someone is fully through their own stuff. They may still be processing a loss. They may be getting out of a relationship, and this could be a rebound. There could still be a person attached to them, meaning that they haven't completely untangled their existing relationships. So that's why I think that if you're single and looking, it might be better this week just to focus on healing, personal development, finances. All of those things are going to be better. And I'm not afraid to say that, because I'm not here just for likes and looks. I'm here to kind of like help you make the right choices each and every week. Okay, destiny. We have victory and success. Card is reversed. Looks like the Fool to me. Also could be the Six of Wands, because we've got the 6 at the top on this one. But in order to get to the Six of Wands, it is about taking that first step. It's not always easy to take the first step. Sometimes it's easier to kind of look at the past, look at what has been working. And this can also be the attachment here to something that is just guaranteed. Know this, you're actually set up here to turn a new corner, to kind of go in a good direction. We can almost see what looks like a rainbow or something here in the background. So success is also something that is very subjective. So the question from the universe is like, what do you consider success to be? Is it Is it money? Is it happiness? Is it the relationships that you make? Is it the impact that you make on the world? Whatever, to each their own. But focus on your criteria and then put a little bit more energy into that this week. So we're going to do one more card here before we meditate, and this is the big idea. This is like why you showed up today. So what are we here for? What is the main thing? I think we're going to do two because we have like two parts here, ghosts and healing. So what is the thing that kind of is hanging over you energetically first? And then we'll look at how to heal whatever it is that you need to heal. So the thing that's kind of anchoring you, we have the High Priestess. And then we have the thing that you can do to really focus on healing. Okay. So some of you just know. I mean, the High Priestess is knowing. She is the third eye. She is insight as a personification, as a person. So you know what to do. But maybe it's hard accepting it. Maybe it's hard figuring out how to take action on it. And that is one of the frustrating, but also cool things about being intuitive. You see through things, you see possibilities, and sometimes you have to wait for them to unfold. Sometimes you don't have control over them, but the insight helps you figure out what else you can do, or you're prepared for the inevitable. So embrace your knowing as a chance to be prepared, and also embrace it and decide what to do about it. You can't change, again, what other people are feeling or doing to a certain extent. And this is really saying you're also a creator. I mean, that's the High Priestess. She's manifesting things. So we don't just use our third eye to see what's going on around us. We also use it to manifest our dreams and see beyond what's already here. So, because otherwise it's just a spectating sport, and this would be very boring, what we do every week. So you get a chance to see what's possible, and then you get to see what you want to do, and then you get to see maybe a path to do that. So don't forget your creative energy, your free will, and she's a little magical too. Don't forget your ability to surprise and to dazzle. So you've got more power and potential. Let's not just focus on the things that are going on out of your control. What is in your control? What can you kind of like impact and manifest? All right, so that was the ghost. Yeah, something's going on, but you have better things to worry about than all of that. Okay, put it into action. This is the healing thing. So 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Sometimes we make a plan, it doesn't happen. So let's make a new plan. Let's tear up that old paper and reframe it. Write it in a way that's higher, more elevated. And this is a chance to revise, to review, to think of it from a different perspective. So I invite you to do all of the above, okay? Really good card for those of you that are creatives out there and are looking at putting something into written form, whether it's a contract or a curriculum or patent or creative writing. I mean, it's putting something into a form that others can share and consume. So there's some good stuff in channel for you. Okay. Now let's take a moment. We're going to do 2 more things here. We're going to meditate, and then I'm going to look at a final card. The final card is one last question. I do my best to look at everything, but if I haven't answered it, then stick around and we'll look at that in just a moment. Before we do it, if you're new, subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. I'm doing another live stream on the 31st. Halloween themed, liminal space, opportunities. It'll be a lot of fun. I do it every year. And so I hope you can join me for that. All right, let's prepare for the final card. Actually, not the final card. That's coming for the meditation first. So for today's meditation, I am just focusing on the energy of a rainbow. So that's what's coming to my mind as I'm talking. So I'd like you to close your eyes, if you will. Imagine that you're stepping out after a storm and a new day is dawning. And as you get onto your front porch or maybe step to the edge of the sidewalk, you can see in front of you this beautiful rainbow, double rainbow actually, and they're stretching as far as the eye can see. Almost the entire sky is filled with this arc of light. See yourself in this moment as being at the receiving end of the rainbow. You've been through the rain, you've been through the difficulty, you've been through the challenges, and you're ready to receive an upgrade on every level because red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, violet has all the different colors in it. It's going to connect with each one of your chakra systems. So open your arms out and just allow for the rays of light to connect with each of those energy systems in your body, and see yourself receiving it and becoming pure white light, as bright as the sun, and just receive an upgrade. We don't have to do anything else. Just see yourself in that receptive energy. Relax, enjoy, and we'll look at your question in just a moment. Take a nice deep breath. Plant your feet on the ground. Take your hands together. Create some heat, some light, some energy. Place them on your heart. And just give yourself some gratitude for taking time today to show up. Give yourself credit for your ability to step forward without fear, without anxiety, to embrace the energy of integrity and the high priestess energy that we were talking about just a moment ago as well. All right. At this point, if you haven't already done so, please open your eyes. We're going to look now at your final question. And for this, I'd like you to simply hold it in your mind and heart. Don't type anything out. Just keep it there for a second. And let's see what the universe has to say. Oh, quite nice, actually. We've got the Two of Cups. It's very positive. It's a yes, if you're looking for a yes-no. It's showing higher love, which is very welcomed after we saw the energy of the devil. So this is basically you creating a higher frequency and other people receiving it. Like attracts like. We can look at lovers and Two of Cups energy as magnetic. And so whatever it is that you're deciding to do is in a higher resonance. So it could just be attracting a better opportunity. And yes, if you're looking for love or if you're looking to sort of make a better connection out there, we see that as well. A face-to-face conversation would be really advantageous whenever the Two of Cups comes through. So don't be afraid to reach out to someone and do something in person this week. All of that is to your benefit. But overall, this is a card of very positive energy. Something to celebrate, a good time to spend with the other people. And again, it's just showing that whatever it is that you're trying to do, the right connection is out there. It's just a matter of being patient and diligent. Okay? And mermaids, they are definitely marching to the beat of their own drum, and they don't need to change for anybody, right? So there's a little bit of that too. You shouldn't have to change. All right. Let's take a couple moments here just to express some gratitude. Before I do that, a quick note. If you haven't yet hit the thumbs up, you can only do it once per video, but please do it. It helps everybody find this. It helps me know that you like this. To make sure that you don't miss out on future videos, you can give me a follow on social media as well. Everything that you might be looking for is on my website, including what decks I use and also official social platforms, which I just listed. I do not read private readings. I don't give private readings, I should say, and I don't use direct messages. There are some imposters that pop up from time to time. So if someone direct messages you and says, I feel drawn to talk to you, block, report, let me know about it. It isn't me. If they're asking you for money, it isn't me. If you want to show love and support, you can do it optionally here. I'm going to give some thanks to everybody, and you'll know because I can heart the sort of reply or whatever, or say thank you in real time. I just like to make that clear because unfortunately there's some crazy folks out there. All right, so let's take a moment here to give some love and gratitude to those who participated today. I'm going to start off first with new members, and then I'll look at who gifted the memberships as well. Let me see here. I think I found a new way to do this here in YouTube. Fan funding, I think it's there. Okay, let me just try to do it from this space. So Krista, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Colette, gifting 5 memberships today. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Tahoe, thank you for being a member for 27 months. That's amazing. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel, Heather, Amelia, Amber. Eileen, thank you for gifting 5 memberships today. And Tahoe, thank you for gifting 5, as well as for being a member for so long. Mauricia, thank you for 27 months of membership. Thank you, Mermaid Crystal, for becoming a member. Now, let me make sure I got all the members, and then we'll go on to super stickers. So here's the newest members. I'm just going to call them out quickly here. West, Sauza, Sabrina, Brandy, Yogini, Lucy, K. George, Nivra, Tammy, Allison, let's see, Fotini, Amelia, Elizabeth, Mermaid Crystal, Amber, Heather W, Holly, Holly, Leonie, Krista, Terry, Sherry, Ladisaya, Mercathia, and I think I got everybody. Hopefully I did. Apologies for any mispronunciations. I try to say it fast. We just got some new members here. So Deborah, thank you for gifting 5 new members. I appreciate that. Let me take a couple moments here to say thanks to those that gave back. And again, a reminder, please feel free to join me on Halloween. I'll be doing another reading then. Okay, so today, let's see, we got a few gifts here. So Lucy, Rosemary, Adrian, Mauricia, Eileen, thanks again, Eileen, not only for gifting, but also for giving back with an extra amount. I appreciate it. Kathy, and Brand Art Yoga. I think I got everybody. Let me double check here. Unstoppable as well, thank you. And Deborah, thanks for being a member for 6 months. All right, I think that's everybody. I think that's everything. Lots of love and light to all of you. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I also want to say thanks. I was looking earlier this year at different dates. I've been doing, I started doing readings in 2015, but I think the channel started in 2013. So the channel's been around for 10 years, but my readings, I've been doing it for over 8. So it's just really great to be able to show up, to help you guys, to have a different option to my old corporate path. And I'm so happy to be of service, and just wanted to express some gratitude. That crossed my mind today, that it's an honor and a privilege. So thank you for allowing me to be here. And I look forward to showing up this week. Tomorrow will be the Pisces reading plus my daily reading. And then we're going to do the Halloween reading the day after that. And then we'll reset and back to my normal schedule, Monday, Thursday, Friday. So Thursday and Friday, we'll start looking at December. How's that happening? But yeah, as of tomorrow, all of the readings will be up on Monday. So Monday, end of day. So definitely by Halloween, all the November readings will be up. All right, everybody, lots of love and light to you. Apollo's in the other room. I'm going to take him for a walk. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you several times this week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.